Hello! Today I'm going to be talking about heated humidifiers. Now this is my heated humidifier. Heated humidifiers vary slightly from model to model, from machine to machine, and also there are heated humidifiers on some CPAP and BiPAP machines, and now those heated humidifiers are really tiny compared to this one that I have. So first of all, there are two components to a heated humidifier. There is the humidifier. This up here is the humidifier. This is just a water chamber. It looks like this, but this doesn't have any water in it. And the main function of this water chamber is to provide moisture, to provide humidity to the air. Now the way this works, air is coming down through this air hose, is going into this water chamber, and it's getting blown across the water chamber. As it gets blown across the water chamber, it's going to be exposed to the water. It's going to pick up some moisture, some of that water. It's going to hydrate the air, and then from this, it's going across, and then it's going to be pushed into my airways. So that is the humidifier part. Now, humidifiers have very limited capacity. Now, they can provide moisture, but they're limited to the temperature of the air. So let me explain this a little bit to you. So as air temperature increases, the ability for the air to hold moisture increases. Now, let's talk a little bit about weather here. I know you're thinking, what does weather have to do with this? And actually, this will explain my point a lot. So just imagining it is 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside, or approximately 4 degrees centigrade. You are outside and it is raining. Now think about the humidity in the air. It's 100% humidity relative to the temperature of 4 degrees or 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is raining. Now think about that. Now let's go to the Amazon rainforest. Here we are. It is about 38 degrees centigrade or about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now think about that. When you're outside in that rain, what does it feel like? Very sticky, very humid. And now when you think about that versus the 40 degrees, 4 degrees that you were outside with the rain, which one felt like there was more moisture in the air? And the answer, of course, is the Amazon rainforest. The warm, hot, humid air holds so much more water than the 4 degrees or the 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So just keeping that in mind, the colder the air is, the less moisture it can hold. So although this is producing moisture and putting moisture into the air, this by itself does not add a lot of moisture because it's all relative to the air that's going through here. If the air going through here is only about 20 degrees Celsius or about 68 degrees Fahrenheit, it does not have a big moisture capacity versus air that's warmer, air that's body temperature 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees centigrade has a much bigger capacity to hold water. And that's where we get to this heater. The heater, it is warming up everything. It has a plate right here. This is hot. Don't put your finger there. Yes. And this plate will warm up this metal on the bottom, or this metal on the bottom. It'll heat that up. And as that heats up, it will heat up the water. Now, this is important because as that water gets warmer and warmer and warmer, as this cold, dry room air goes across, it's going to get warmed up in this water chamber. As it gets warmed up in this water chamber, the ability for the air to hold moisture will increase. So if you want more water in the air, you need a higher temperature. So as this goes across, it gets warmed up, it's able to hold more water, and then it gets pushed into the airway. You're going to have warmer air, which is going to prevent the person from getting hypothermia. You're going to have more moist air, which is going to prevent the airs from drying out. And overall, that is what you want. You want warm, moist air entering the airway. Now you're going to say, well, maybe we should have really hot air because hot air can hold a lot more moisture than cold air. True, but do not put very hot air into this. As you can see on this heated humidifier, there is a range of temperatures. Right now, mine is set at 6, which is 37 degrees Celsius. That is it's right there. That is body temperature. Now this will only go up, this is 38, and it'll only go up to a maximum of 39 degrees right there. That is the maximum temperature it will go up to. Why? Because anything hotter than that, anything above 40, 41 degrees Celsius will burn the airway. You do not want that. You do not want a burned airway. You can also click this down and my heated humidifier, so we go down to 36, we can go down to 35, 34, 30, just a second. 34. I guess it's supposed to go down lower. It's supposed to go down to 32, but I see it's set that it only goes down to 34. So you do not want to go very, very much colder than about 32, 34 degrees Celsius, because that is just too cold and your airways will not get enough moisture. They will not get enough heat, and the person could potentially develop hypothermia. Why is this? Because this air is pushing a lot of high pressure into the airways. Your airways need to be warm. Your airways are approximately 37 degrees centigrade, or about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. And you need that warmth, because if you're breathing in cold air, your body is losing heat, and that will put a lot of stress on the body, and it also just make the person very, very cold. So that is the basics about this. You have a humidifier up here, you have a heater down here, and together they provide heated humidifier. It is wonderful. You might think, who should use a heated humidifier? In general, please talk to your medical provider, because this will change from person to person. But absolutely, if you have a tracheostomy tube attached to a ventilator, please use a heated humidifier. I cannot tell you how important it is to use a heated humidifier, because if you do not, you're going to get cold, dry air pushed into your lungs. It's going to dry out your lungs. It possibly can crack your lungs. It can produce blood clots. You can just get very, very sick not using a heated humidifier. So please, if you have a tracheostomy tube and a ventilator, you should have a heated humidifier. If you just have a tracheostomy tube, some doctors will prescribe a heated humidifier. Heated humidifiers work absolutely wonderfully with a tracheostomy tube. However, some insurance companies don't cover this, or some medical providers don't believe it is necessary. So some medical providers will use a cool mist humidifier. A cool mist humidifier is similar to a heated humidifier, except it does not have the heater. It basically works by just putting moisture into the room temperature air. And again, you're limited. How much moisture will this get? Will be limited to the air temperature. If you're in a warmer air temperature environment, you'll get more moisture. If you're in a colder air temperature environment, you will get less moisture. So the cool mist humidifier is very contingent upon the air temperature, versus this heated humidifier produces its own heat, and you do not have to worry about what is the air temperature coming in, because this machine should compensate and should ensure that every single breath you get is the proper temperature. The next thing I want to talk about are these water chambers. People think this is usually a standard water chamber. It looks like this. While it is very common that people get these water chambers, there are some disadvantages. First of all, the big disadvantage is you constantly have to fill this up. As you see, this is running low. You need to fill it back up with water. And when it runs low, you just run out of water unless you refill it. So these are nice. These are very cheap water chambers. Most places provide these, but they are not the best. There is a much better water chamber. It is called an autofill water chamber. It looks like this. So this water chamber, when it's actually working, will have just a small amount of water in here. And as the air comes through, picks up moisture, and this water level drops, this will automatically keep the water level at a constant level. And this is filled by this. So I can't quite see it, but this travels all the way down, and ends like this. So you need a height difference. You cannot have these at the same height. This has to be much higher to fill this, because it fills by gravity. Its official name is an autofill humidification chamber. I love these humidification chambers. I love them. I do not like these at all. I do not. I cannot be bothered with constantly filling this up with water. And this just automatically refills, and it has this big reserve that usually only runs dry after about 20 or 24 hours. So I only fill this up once a day, and I reuse these bottles because they're expensive and you can just put distilled water into them. But this is a auto feed water chamber, and it works so much better than these. Also, this one broke actually, so I need to replace it. So for the last couple days, I've been using this water chamber, and I have noticed that this water chamber produces a lot of condensation. You probably can't see it very well in this, but there's a lot of condensation and it builds up, and I'm constantly getting water in my line. And I was very confused by this because when I use this other water chamber, that doesn't happen. I get very little condensation, and from time to time it does build up for a little bit, but nothing like this water chamber. I was shocked. People told me, oh, they have so many issues with water getting into the circuit line, and I was very confused. But now after using this, I totally understand. These water chambers seem to just put too much water into the circuit, and it just builds up with condensation. And I'm not sure if it has anything to do with this water line. I've not tested that, but all I know is this auto feed water chamber, I don't have that issue. I very rarely get any condensation building up in it. And this one just auto feeds, and it's so much more convenient. And I love these little water chambers, but they're much more expensive than these. And my insurance covers these, and I'm able to get them from my medical equipment company. I think my insurance covers these too, but my medical equipment company doesn't carry them, so I need to buy these out of pocket. It's a little bit of a bummer, but to not have to fill this water chamber, which this water chamber for me runs out every 6 to 8 hours, and it sometimes runs out during the night if I am not mindful to keep it all the way full before I go to bed. So that just is a big annoyance, and if I have to pay for this so I can get a good night's sleep, I will happily do that. So next up, let's talk about how to fill these water chambers. These water chambers are pretty easy. They just have two little, I don't know, hubs, ports, whatever you want to call them. Sits like this. You can connect these either way. It does not matter. This is the line going from the ventilator, and then this is the line going to me. It doesn't matter which way you connect these, but I will say it does matter which one you disconnect to fill the water chamber. Let me explain. So you want to fill your water chamber. If you take off this one, remember this is going from the ventilator, it's pushing air down across, and you want to take off this one, you're going to have issues. Because as you try to fill it, this air is pushing across, and it'll push water. And if you're over here trying to fill it, you will get a face wash. It's not very good. It's very inconvenient to get water all over the place. So make sure if you're filling the water chamber, you take off this one, because you take off this one, then there's no air going through here, and you don't have to worry about water splashing up. So let me show you how I do this. Oh, I should also explain, the water you put in here should either be distilled or sterile water. Please do not use tap water, and please do not use any sort of like spring water or purified water. No, please only use distilled or sterile water. Why is that? Because distilled and sterile water should be free from, chemicals or any minerals such as calcium or salt or anything. And those minerals, if they're in here, they will start to degrade your water chamber, and also any of those minerals or chemicals. For example, tap water is going to have fluoride in it, so you're going to be breathing in fluoride all day long, and that is not very good for you. So please only use sterile or distilled water. Now that you have the right water, let me show you how you fill this. You're just going to take off this, put a funnel on here, and then you're going to put some water into the water chamber. Not very difficult. There's a line on here. See this better? Line. Anyways, most people say, oh, you should only fill up to this line. I do agree, you should probably only fill up to this line, but I'm going to tell you, I do overfill this. Why? Because it runs out during the night if I don't, and I fill it up to the top where this F is, just that top of that lettering. You do not fill it up all the way. If you fill it up all the way to the top, there will not be enough air to come across here, and then it'll shoot water into your ventilator tubing, and that's not good. It's never good to have water because it gets pushed into your airways, and then you start drowning, and that's not good. But let me show you how you fill this water chamber. It's very, very easy. First of all, you're going to take off this line that's coming from your ventilator. Put a filter there, water. Ta-da! So that is how you fill a water chamber on a heated humidifier. One last thing, this humidifier requires electricity because it needs the heater. And so here you need to plug it in to an outlet. If you don't have an outlet, you can't be using your heated humidifier. So that's just something. Also, the only thing you really need to worry about on this heated humidifier is the ability to turn it on and off. There's a button right here, and just turn it down, it turns off, all the lights go off. If you turn it on, all the lights come on, and it beeps, so you know it's on. It's not very complex, not very complicated. There are different setups with the heated humidifier. For example, mine, I have a heated wire system for my tubing circuit, so this has wires that go into this, into the heated humidifier down here. Some heated humidifiers do not have that, but some do. I really like the heated wire circuit because it keeps the air inside my tubing circuit warm. There are wires inside that heat up and they keep the air which is coming through the circuit, it keeps it at a constant temperature. The air staying warm will retain the moisture, and that air will get into my lungs, which will be warmer and more moist than just the regular room air. One thing, if you do not use a heated wire circuit, as the air travels through the circuit here, the air will just naturally start to cool down. As it cools down, it loses its ability to hold moisture. So that moisture in the air will start dropping out. It'll start condensing here in the tubing circuit, and the air that enters your air is colder and drier than the air that left this water chamber. So for that reason, it is very beneficial to use a heated wire circuit. But if you don't have access to that, or you simply can't get them, then not using a heated wire circuit is also fine. But remember, if you have a tracheostomy tube and a ventilator, please use a heated humidifier. It'll save your airways from drying out, from cracking, from developing blood clots. So many complications. Please use a heated humidifier. So that is just a little bit about a heated humidifier. I hope you found it helpful, informational, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know either in the comments or shoot me off an email. So thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. Please also remember to comment and share. It really helps my YouTube channel. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.